What's up? What's up? Are we live? Let's see here. Starting soon. Sync to player. What's up? What's up? Are we live? Got a little lead time here. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and go over the questions. Now that I know what's going on, I see the questions flowing in. Let's see. We're gonna start with Devin Henderson at Dev Henderson. He says, "Are deep squats harmful to your knees?" Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal on that, Devin. There's a couple different ways to squat, and I like both ways. So I've squatted with a powerlifting wide stance before, which barely hits parallel for the contest. Squatted deep like a bodybuilder, where you're way below parallel. And I think that both of them they both serve their purpose. But you just gotta make sure your form's tight, man. You got to keep your hips back at all times, and in reality, your knees have to be like at a 90-degree angle. So if it's below parallel, as long as you're not like into your knee like this, and you're actually like below 90 degrees, but as long as your knee's still in a good position. And I never really did a lot of Olympic lifting. A lot of guys bounce out of the hole. I never really trained that way, so I come out of the hole pretty strong. See, Brian? I come out of the hole pretty strong, but I try not to bounce too much. So I think they're fine as long as you know what the heck you're doing and you've checked your form. So yeah, I'd recommend deep squats. But if you're doing powerlifting, I would say look at the wider stance squats too. Let's see. We got at Max Trask. How should I eat on rest days during bulk? If you look at the Get Swole plan, which I have on MusclePharm.com, nothing really changes on the rest days from the normal days. Because I don't really recommend like a dirty bulk where you just eat everything in sight. My stuff's always pretty clean all year round. So really, you can eat just as much on the rest days. And truth be told, that's when you're recovering and building up. So you got to have enough food. So I would say, don't really change it a whole bunch. If you're eating clean, then just keep eating that way, or just eating lower glycemic carbohydrates is what I mean by eating clean while you're bulking. It's fun to just eat whatever and lift and be strong, and I did that, and one time I weighed a pretty out-of-shape 240 real quick. And so I would say check out the Get Swole plan and really go through that most of it. I would say that's the way to do it. So try to be as clean as possible on that. All right, next we'll go to Jacob Sailors. Cory, I follow your daily workouts every day, but it's finals week and I'm studying basically all day and all night. What are the realistic consequences of missing 3 or 4 days? Here's the thing, Jacob, is right now, unless it's your profession, you're a professional, it sounds like full-time student. You need to fit your training in, but if you're studying for exams, it's really for a purpose right now. Just get in your training to kind of let your brain rest and, kind of help with your stress levels a little bit. But in reality, just make sure you don't miss the entire week. Still train, but man, just get your objective that you got on hand right then and just knock it out the way. And then next week you'll be back to normal. So I would just make sure you eat as clean as possible. Be focused on your goal at hand, which is these exams, and just go from there, man. Don't stress it. If you've been following the daily workouts for a while, you're training hard anyway. It's all cool. From Quentin Chan, is it optimal to take combat post-workout or throughout the day? It's a good question. Actually, I use combat several different ways. For the longest time, we had combat as our only protein. So I would take combat. Usually would take either Amino 1 or Recon right after I'm done training, or branched chain pills, depending on what kind of phases I'm in. Then go to combat 20 minutes later. But I also use combat once or twice during the day for snack meals. And so really combat's kind of like a multi-purpose blended protein. That's why we did it that way. So you can use it because it has a little bit of casein in it too. So you can use that at night if you want. And that's why we like the, kind of a wide range of protein sources, just so you can kind of use it as all-purpose, to be honest. Let's see, next we got from 10AMVR on YouTube. Can I use the busy diet with the Get Swole workouts? Yes. I've had a lot of people do that where they go, or use in particular Get Swole Phase 4 diet, but do the whole Get Swole plan. So if you're really trying to just straight up lose fat, but you don't really want to do the busy diet type workouts like the intervals and all that, you are more of a weightlifter and that's how you want to get down, then I would say do the Get Swole Phase 4 diet, but go ahead and knock out from Phase 1 to Phase 4 in the workouts, which is 16 weeks. Now, on that diet, if you run it that long, on the leg days, I would add some low glycemic carbohydrates, meaning on your leg day, post-workout, that's when I would have your sweet potato, your oatmeal, or your brown rice or something like that, just so you can kind of carb up a little bit, but your body reacts to it completely different during your leg training because your hormones are all spiked through the roof, and if you train in like I'm telling you to train, your body will react completely different to it. At Josh Brood on YouTube, for a guy looking to get in the position you're in, what steps would you recommend to get there? Ooh. Well, here's the thing, like a lot of people are just now knowing about myself and the brand over the last 3 to 5 years, but mostly really probably the last like 36 months. But I've been grinding for about 15 years as of November. I started my business, my first LLC as a personal trainer in November of 1999. So I've been a full-time trainer or fitness professional since then. And so it took me 10 years to get the opportunity to even get around the right people to start MusclePharm. And so there was a natural progression over time that my training got busier. I started messing with higher level people, started learning more, always self-educating and getting better, competing, staying focused. And then now that I'm on the platform I am now, is continuing to get better, but it's all next level type stuff, whether it's in the business, whether it's in my own fitness and also my personal goals. So really, I think it's not an instant gratification. This was a ton of time invested and lots of years, and to be quite honest, like that's a whole nother question and answer just on that side of stuff. But in reality, I would just make sure that you have an outline plan and a definitive goal of what you want for your life. Because at the end of the day, I had a burning desire daily to be a main big-time guy in the fitness industry, and I don't feel like I'm where I want to be yet, but I'm pushing. Obviously, there's a lot more people that know me now, which is cool, but at the end of the day, I'm still not happy. I still want to change as many people as possible, and I still want to have this platform to be massive and truly, I'd like to have a $1 billion brand. We're all pushing for that here at MusclePharm. We want to be the big boy with the most science, and we're focused on that every day, and we're pushing hard. So you got to define your goal, exactly what that is, and it's got to burn inside daily, and that's what you got to push to do. It's you got to be able to put in work. There's a lot less sleep involved, that's for sure. At Michael Picatoli, I think I just jacked up your name, and I'm Italian, brother. Sorry. If I could only purchase one MusclePharm supplement, what it would be? Hands down, Assault. The new Assault formula is ridiculous. It's hard to rebrand your main seller, but we did it. Changed the formula, made it better. The performance I get on it's amazing. It's also light on your stomach. We made the scoop smaller. We made the caffeine higher absorbing. I mean, it's awesome. So start with Assault, roll from there. You can grab it up any major retailer. But you should get it at Muscle and Strength because that's who's hosting the Q&A today, right? I love those guys over there. Damien's awesome. Next, we got just bought Combat a few. Here's the best protein. Hey, thanks. EMT Crystal. She's just saying I appreciate Combat. It tastes good. Hey, thanks. I love Combat. Got to taste good. Got to be effective. Got to be safe. The digestive enzymes help being easy on your stomach, so it's the real deal. If y'all ain't tried it out, you got to check it out. Let's see. Plans of making Simon. All right, so at Michael Prosaka, with the growth of MusclePharm in the supplement industry in general, does the company have any plans on signing of any other professional athletes? Man, we're always looking. I'm always making moves on that. We're always, in the boardroom talking about how we can enhance, the exposure of the brand. Partnering with Arnold was, obviously is an athlete / business partner of ours now. And in our industry, I don't know if you can get much bigger than that. When it comes to other professional athletes, we're extremely happy with Colin Kaepernick right now, LaRon Landry, the newest, which is CT Fletcher, which if you guys are on YouTube, you already know who CT is. He's amazing man, and I'm so happy for him as he's blown up. It's been fun to work with him. He's one of my favorite guys. Dude's legit, 100%. I mean, I'm for y'all that know me, I'm a real gym guy. I've owned a hardcore gym for a long time. No frills to the way I train. Most people think it's overtraining. Most people think it's crazy. I love West Side. I love, my gym's called the Old School. I like concrete floors. I like to get after it. CT and me, we're cut from the same cloth. Just a little bit older than me and just from a different part of the country, but we get along great. Next, we got, can I stack Shred Matrix with Cre3 from Joseph Cahill? I would say most of the time when I take Shred, I don't take an additional creatine on top of it. If I'm taking a pre-workout, which is obviously a salt or Iron Pump doesn't have creatine in it. A salt obviously does. I don't just take anything over top of it. So I would recommend no, just go Shred, work on that. Don't worry about creatine at that point other than your pre-workout. Obviously, I'd like to sell you a Cre3, but that's what it comes down to with a MusclePharm. I'm not going to just tell you that so you buy it. I'm going to tell you the truth because that's really what should be happening. So I would just take Shred Matrix, look at CLA Core also. At AC3 Cyclone, they want to know what kind of sleep schedule I keep every day. That's a pretty good topic. A lot of people ask me that because they see me tweeting and up at all hours of the night and in the morning early as hell. Quite frankly, I learned as I got busier that sleep just is what it is. I know you need it to recover, but I've proved over the last 3 or 4 years, I've kept a high level of fitness and honestly kind of a low level of sleep. When you try to pull off and help run a company with our executive team that we've got, is amazing, but everybody's got low sleep. To run a company that's going to be 100 million plus, that's just the way it is. So, I go to bed like 10:30, 11 Eastern, wake up at 3:30, 3:45. And no, I don't take any naps. Yes, I'm tired from times, but what am I going to do? Whine about it? I'm running a big brand and I got a lot of people to help change, so it just is what it is. So at the end of the day, I do what I love to do. I can sleep a lot when I'm retired and I'm old. So right now, I'm just getting it. So the sleep schedule for me is 4 to 5 hours. At Jordan Heinz, is there new products in the works? Always. We try to find the holes, fill them, new flavors, new products, bring more innovation, always doing research. So yeah, 100%. There's always new stuff in the works. Can I tell you what they are? Sorry, but soon. Let me go over to Twitter now. Hold on. That was all off YouTube, y'all. Now we got. What is from at Chris Cohen? What is your favorite chest workout? Actually, we're working on a chest ebook right now. Me and my social media director, Josh Hatchett, who just came on not that long ago, is an amazing writer, and we're going through and we're putting together like 17 to 20 best chest workouts all in one book with some articles and stuff that we're going to release in the first of the year. It's sick. And so it's just kind of all the stuff you guys seen on social media over the last year, 2 years. We kind of pick from those, put that together for you guys. But I'd have to say Serge Nubret chest, which is a 70s throwback workout, which is like 20 sets of bench or something crazy, because Serge Nubret was just stacked. That's one of my favorites. And anytime the man, the myth, the legend, Arnold has a chest workout out there, I try to do it. And I always enjoy those too because they're usually incline, heavy, dumbbell pullovers, dips. I like the basic moves. If you see my gym, I got one hammer strength, and that's just because I got it used super cheap. I never even had that in my like agenda to buy. It's all just incline, flat bench, and dumbbells in my place. Can I put at Mike Zagranda? Zagroda. Can I put creatine powder in my protein shake? I would not do that because if you notice when you mix your protein up, some of it gets on the side of the glass. And so I'm kind of anal when it comes to that. I want all 5 grams of creatine. So I would rather mix it. I'd either just dump it in my mouth and drink water, which I know is kind of probably out of control, or just make a separate small shake and kill it, then make your protein shake. That's just the way I prefer. I don't even want to, if I'm taking creatine and I'm working on putting on size, or if I'm working on power or whatever, I'm reason why I'm taking creatine, I ain't trying to lose even, 0.25 grams of it. I want it all. At Steve Dano, cheat days, cheat meals, what's your take? I go more like cheat meals. Cheat days is a good way to blow up, to be quite honest. And honestly, unless I've got something on my calendar that I have to be crazy lean for, I try to stay within like 10 pounds, 15 pounds, nothing. I don't really blow up anymore. I mean, I'm really trying to stay within shooting distance of, I just came off a big kind of diet phase where I did a bunch of like 4 or 5 covers and did a bodybuilding show and hinged my weight all the way down to like under 170, which is really light for me, but I was pretty super lean. But then I like to walk around about 185 most of the time. That's where I feel healthy, normal, and then my wife's, not going to hurt me because I'm super irritable. So what we got next? At Anthony Molina, lean bulking. I try really hard to only eat very clean foods. I don't dirty bulk, but it seems I put on fat easily. Advice. Ooh, that's just like me, buddy. The same way, very insulin sensitive, can't get away with a lot of carbohydrates, and I mean my metabolism is pretty fast now with all the crazy workouts I do, but my body just is what it is. What you might be very similar to me is go to a higher fat, clean higher fats, nuts, grain-fed, organic, like lean beef, cottage cheese. I would look at more fats and leave the carbs alone for a little bit. So your calories will still be the same, but your fat content will be higher. And let's just see how your body reacts. And then use your carbohydrates on like a leg day just to give yourself a spike instead of eating them every day and see how that goes. Guarantee you'll put on some size. At Tim Dudash, is standing barbell shoulder press a good way to build your bench press up? Yeah, any major shoulder exercise is definitely good to build your bench. But here's what a lot of people don't understand about their bench press. You might or might not, but I'll just go into it. When I went to West Side and learned how to really bench, like to support some real weight, they told me it's usually mostly in your lats and your triceps. So your shoulders have to be stable. And if you notice on my Instagram a lot, I've been doing a lot of stuff hanging off the barbell, up to like 220 pounds, but all the kettlebell is actually hanging either off a PVC pipe or off a regular barbell, and that just helps with stability. So you do have to have good stability. Usually when my bench is close to 400 pounds, I can seated military press like 240, 250 for 1 rep. So yeah, I think your shoulders have to be strong. But if you're not set up right in the bench where you have a nice arch and it's supported on your lats, and then when you get out of the hole, a lot of people's chests are strong enough to move the bar, but they can't lock it out. So they think their chest is weak. In reality, their triceps are weak. So when I got around Louis Simmons, he just said, dude, your tris suck. So train your triceps 3 days a week. You've got to be strong. And in an Instagram video I did today, on my 20 set of skulls, I hit, wheels on each side for 20. I mean, that's like, I don't know, like 120 pounds or something, and I'm like 180. So, the thing is like, you got to be able to press some like serious weight with your triceps if you want to have a big bench. At the end of the day, once it gets off your chest, and half of that can be supported in your lats, when you go to lock it out is the key. Turn your elbows out and boom, it's got to be all through your tris. Let's go back to YouTube here and see what we got going on. At Austin Bailey on YouTube, is it still possible to gain muscle at 47? Heck yeah. Man, I've seen some guys at these natural bodybuilding shows that are well into their 50s that are jacked, still making gains, look young, been squatting for 25, 30 years. Yeah, get lean, add some muscle, check out the Get Swole plan. I mean, age is just a number, man. My grandpa's 87 years old, still lifting 3 days a week. So I don't see why you got to succumb to, because you're 47, you can't gain muscle. I say screw that, roll with it, man, and just make it happen. And if anybody's going to naysay you, then, well, that's an extra workout for you to just show them. You know what I mean? So, at Miguel De Leon. Huge fan, love fitness and the fullest. I live in Colorado. Is there any chances of working out at the MP facility? Laugh out loud, worth a shot. Well, Miguel, we do have some open workouts from time to time, but the facility is private. So I apologize, not open to the public. It's for the athletes, for research, and just keep on track with the social media, because from time to time we do have some workouts, or UFC has some stuff there which you can come into the facility. It's an extremely unique place. We build it so we can have a competitive advantage in our supplement industry, which I believe with the science team that we have, it gives us that advantage. And so there is a lot of people that ask that question, and sorry I can't accommodate you better, but it's pretty cool. So at Robert Loquest. Hey Cory, I'm having a lot of trouble with recovering after workouts. Thoughts on stretching, Epsom salts, steam room? Any tips? Well, here's the thing, Robert, is it's a kind of a broad question, but I'll answer how I would answer somebody asked me in the gym. I would say, make sure you're drinking a gallon of water a day with 2 scoops of amino 1 in it. Make sure that post-workout you're taking Recon, and then right after that, go into a combat shake. Also, before you go to bed, look at the Iron Dream from Arnold, and then a casein. And also, I would make sure that your fish oils, like at 6 a day, and that you look at Armor V. I mean, if you really want a high-level recovery schedule, that's really what it is. Armor V, fish oil, post-workout, Recon with combat during your workout, and just during all day long, drinking amino 1, and then nighttime Iron Dream with casein. I mean, it's a lot of supplements, but if you're really struggling with that, half the time you might be just a little bit dehydrated, and then when you're training, it's just tearing the muscle down, and your body just ain't recovering correct. I mean, it could be just a combination of stuff. So you get properly hydrated, have all those aminos flowing through you, and the protein at the right times. I bet you feel a lot better. So I don't think you need to do Epsom salts, and yeah, stretching's cool, but that's not why you're that sore. And I think it's just probably not getting the right stuff to recover. Let's see the next. At Rami Abumar, I want to bulk up, but don't want to get fat. I weigh 170. Get Swole Plan. Check it out. MusclePharm.com. Get your products at muscleandstrength.com. It's legit. It's made for a clean bulk, so it's perfect for you. You'll love it. At XBomb Bastix, how do I know how much I need to eat without counting calories? I counted a little bit of calories this year just to really kind of get a concept, but up to this point, I never really did that. I just went on how I felt and how I looked, which obviously I've been in the game a long time, but I would just make sure, there's science and people going back and forth to say eating every 3 hours isn't the way to do it. You can eat 1 time a day, you can eat this. I don't really get too wrapped up in that. I try not to be really like a bro science guy. I just kind of go off of what's worked, and I don't really get into discussions or arguments with anybody about that. I know a lot of people do. At the end of the day, I eat 3 to 5 times a day just because I'm hungry. I try to eat quality meals, and if you want to figure out how much you want to eat, I would just say a couple protein shakes a day and a couple 2 or 3 meals of quality calories, and just see what your outcome is. Meaning like a meat, a vegetable, and some type of low glycemic carbohydrate, you'd be good. At Bobby Deluria, any possible way to get an internship at your facility? That's a very popular question, Bobby. We haven't really defined a whole bunch of internship roles right now. We get an unbelievable amount of requests for it. I just don't know what to do with all you guys. So we're trying to figure that out, and we might have some opportunities in Ohio soon at the new facility for customer service, which I'm working on now. But yeah, it's an extremely high volume question right now. Uh, at Quentin Chan, what is my opinion or perspective on intermittent fasting? Well, intermittent fasting didn't really work for me. I actually felt terrible, but it's not to say it won't work for you. I think that I'm such a regimented person that ate on a schedule for so many years. I mean, like 15 years, that once I cut my food off and then try to eat at night and the way that, man, I just felt terrible. So, and super dehydrated. So yeah. So like I said, it's a trial and error personal thing. At the end of the day, you got to see what works for you, and then go from there. Michael Brown, the podcast with Michael Kim is awesome. Hey, Dr. Kim is legit. Super smart guy, willing to listen to us gym guys also, and mix it with some science, leading the research department. Smart dude. Just fun guy to hang out with. And yeah, I think the podcast was good. And look, I'm working on the podcast. I just like getting interesting people on there, chop it up with them, see whether they have good transformations, they had adversity, and just get some information out there for people to listen to while they're on their phones, while they're doing a workout. So it's cool. At Bunny's Pod, Bun's iPod. My friend needs to help get bigger quads. I've been doing 12 sets of 12 squats with Get Swole, and my squat weight has gone up so much. It's 12 sets of 12 good for building mass? Hell yeah. 12 sets of 12 is some serious volume. If you're taking them things deep, your quads are going to blow up. I'll tell you what'll blow your quads up is lunge around the track about 4 days a week. I've been doing it like 4 to 5 days a week for a couple months. My quads blew up. Volume blows your muscles up. The reason why the aesthetics of the Golden Era guys were so awesome is their volume and capacity was unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. So the way that their muscle, they weren't as lean as the guys nowadays, but in my opinion, they look better. I mean, the roundness of the muscle, the fullness of it, and the volume, and like I said, their conditioning was sick just because of weightlifting. Those guys weren't on the step mill for 45 minutes. They didn't do stuff like that back then. They just squatted twice a week, did chest and back 2 or 3 times a week, and that to me is where it's at. At Sean Mahoney, what's your opinion of CrossFit programs and sports for sport-specific athletes? Hey, I'm CF Levels 1 certified. Got it at Reebok, enjoyed it, learned a ton. Honestly, I learned more at the Reebok certification than I learned in college and that I learned in any certification program. Other than sitting at a table or being at the gym with Louis Simmons from the Westside Barbell, who's like the smartest strength guru on the planet, I learned more at the CrossFit seminar. I mean, I learned a ton off Lou over a certain period of time. He taught me just a ton. And when I told him I wanted to be the first fitness model to be an elite powerlifter, he definitely thought it was pretty funny. And I still haven't reached that goal yet. I'm working on it right now. But I was close. If I'd have weighed 8 pounds less at one of my meets, I would have achieved it. But yeah, I like CrossFit. And I think for sport-specific athletes, I don't think it's bad at all. I think at the end of the day, it's increasing explosiveness. It's up in your conditioning and your GPP. So, I mean, especially if you don't have a solid sports-specific trainer in your area, go do a CrossFit workout. You're just going to get in better shape, which is going to make you better anyway. Is it going to, like, cut your 40 time down? I'm not so sure. It might if you're out of shape, so it just kind of depends. At Austin Bailey wants to know, how do I feel about mixing yoga with weightlifting? I did yoga kind of in the early days, once a week, and it was cool. I don't think it's bad for you. I think a lot of people don't have to, might not be able to fit it in. It's not like at the top of my agenda by far, but I will say I think people would have way less lower back injuries if their hips and their hamstrings were way looser. So I think that's if you can fit it in, which I need to probably make that point, I think it's good for you. At Joseph Cahill, what's my current supplement stack? Well, right now I'm doing a lot of different kind of rotations between the Arnold line and the MusclePharm line. What my next main purpose goal is, I did a ton of stuff there towards the end of the year or towards the fall. So I'm working on my first meet is going to be January 18th. I'm going to compete at 181. And so my body weight's staying around 185 to 188, and then I'll cut to 81 and then weigh about 88 the day on the platform is the goal. And so my current supplement stack is I'm taking some iron cuts still just to kind of keep my weight down, but not be like a hardcore or like shred where I'm dehydrated, not dehydrated, but where it's got a water flush involved in it, where it's just really, Iron Cuts is just kind of a hardening product, what helps keep your estrogen suppressed, and it's just will keep you still tighter. I've been using Cre3 post-workout, love it. Been using, obviously I always use a salt. I love a salt, 100%, and I'm a huge casein fan. I realized I was a little bit allergic to eggs this last diet phase, so I've been heavy relying on the Arnold Whey, Iron Whey, and our casein right now. At Tom Van Tanhuizen, what would you consider the best ab exercise for shredding up? I have like 3 go-to ab exercises. Super simple. It's the ab wheel. Make sure you check my YouTube videos just to make sure your form's right. I used to do like 100 a day for years. Toes to bar, where you take your feet all the way up over your head for your lower abs, and weighted crunches. So if you look at any of my Fitness RX stuff, like right now, if you go to buy the Fitness RX, it's on newsstands right now. I have my own column in it, which I feel real blessed to have. It's myself, Greg Plitt, and Shannon Sharp, which is cool. It's called Train with the Prez, and I talk about my my nightly ab workout, and it's called abbing. My wife calls it, "Are you abbing again, Cory? Are you done? What the hell? Like, come to bed so we can watch TV together," which I get to do like a half-hour night of. But you know, it's so many reps I do, and a basic program of wheels and weighted crunches, so check it out. At Michael Bucatoli, you mentioned you sleep 4 to 5 hours a night. Same for me. What must be done, food and supplement-wise, to still make sure you grow with little sleep? You got to be on it, man. That's the thing is, so you have to maximize recovery, and that's why, like, in this phase, what I'm doing now, because I'm able to take Recon, because I can use a little bit more carbohydrates in my diet, I'm definitely utilizing that, utilizing Armor V, utilizing the casein before bed, the Iron Dream. You got to make sure that you're on recovery. It's got to be a huge part of your game when your actual, like, natural recovery, which is sleep, is low. I do sleep till 7 on Sundays, which I know you can't catch up on sleep. I'm sure there's been plenty of studies that says just because you sleep 3 extra hours one day, actually it's 4 extra hours for me, but I do sleep till 7 on Sunday because I usually train on Saturdays too. But just really key on your recovery, man. Check out Recon, check out the Iron Dream, and Amino 1 during the day. Good exercises to help add weight to your squat. At Ali Frazier. I would check out box squatting with bands. It's a West Side technique. When I squatted 700 at 208, I was an animal on box squats. I could squat 4 plates with 220 pounds of band pressure sitting on a 14-inch box and coming off of it with a wider stance squat. It'll make you freak. When you can explode through those bands, and then when you take that band tension off, because the tension of the bands, it's trying to pull you down. So you get up under the weight, and it's trying to peel you to the floor. So your nervous system is acting crazy. You sit on that box and you relax your hips, not your lower back, but your hips for 1 split second, and then boom, explode through. Once that band tension's off, you can pile on some crazy weight and just be super explosive. So check that out. At Kyle Griffin, what's the best books I've read for fitness and business? This is easy. Anabolic Solution by Mario Di Pasquale, who's a guy I look up to, wrote some awesome books on diet. Anabolic Diets, a high-fat diet that he tried to recreate, kind of a drug effect where if you eat super low carbohydrates during the week, higher carbs on the weekend, you get the same kind of feel. Like when I would diet for a bodybuilding show and I'd go 8 or 10 weeks and then I'd eat whatever I wanted on Saturday night, I'd get up Sunday and look better than I did at the show. I'd look like a freak. I'd be dry, veiny, nasty. So his diet tries to recreate that every week. It's hard to get right, but if you do, it's pretty freaky. So the Anabolic Solution. From a training standpoint, the CrossFit manual that's free on their website just to study for their test. And then also the West Side Barbell Book of Methods, which is for powerlifting, but explains a ton of stuff. And then on business, I would say Rich Dad, Poor Dad changed my entire way of thinking about finances, the way money works. Pretty amazing. Had a huge impact on me. Wisdom of Andrew Carnegie, as told by Napoleon Hill, has the 17 success principles of Andrew Carnegie, who was interviewed by Napoleon Hill. Andrew Carnegie, who's from Pittsburgh, which is not that far from where I grew up, is just a monster. I mean, he was paying Charles Schwab $1 million a year in 1927 or something crazy like that. And imagine what that would be today. So Carnegie's success principles are completely timeless. Doesn't matter whether it's 2013 or it's 1913. They work. And so my third book of choice would be Michael Gerber, The E-Myth, which talks about systems, which is I'm not the greatest at, but I try to get better at with my organization. Michael Gerber's The E-Myth is really good. And kind of a mixture is Gary Player's Don't Choke. Gary Player, who's brought fitness to golf, he's in his 80s, amazing shape. He was in the ESPN Body Issue. His book talks about just him being in big-time positions and feeling blessed, and why would he choke? Because he's just happy he's even in that position. It's pretty awesome, so check that out. At Holland's blog, any tips? Hold on one second. Okay. At Holland's blog, we're gonna roll over a little bit longer because this is fun. So I'm gonna go about another 10 or 15 minutes. At Holland's blog, any tips for lifters who enjoy cocktails? Hey, I like Guinness dark beer just like the next guy, but my whole idea behind that is if you have an event you're going to and you want to have some beers or some cocktails, that's cool. But on Tuesday, just don't have it for no reason. Then on Thursday, you grab a pizza and have another beer. Then the event comes around and you're like, oh, I don't even feel like drinking. So me, I don't drink very often because I just don't like the way I feel the next day. My performance is important to me. And so I look like, I would just say, just don't do it for no reason. Do it for a purpose. Like whether you're training for a purpose, do your drinking for a purpose too. It sounds funny, but like if I have an event and I don't have something like I'm getting ready for, I'll have a beer with the guys and try to enjoy myself so I don't look like a big stiff, right? I mean, I'm a normal dude too, and I like Sam Adams, Guinness, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to go out and get blasted all the time, and I'm not going to just have beer for no reason on random days. That's just not how I do it. At Guar Bagdi is asking about the proper rest, 4 to 5 hours of sleep. You know, they say 7 to 8 hours is probably best, and maybe it is, but in my life that doesn't exist. So I don't even really concern myself with why I can't get 7 or 8 hours. At the end of the day, if I'm getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep right now, I probably don't got a job, or I'm not near, and I say near as successful as I am currently and want to be. Because I'm not even near as happy with the level I'm at now. There's a lot of goals I still have. I'm never satisfied. I'm happy about what we're doing, but I'm never satisfied. I mean, I want this platform to be much bigger. Let's go back to Twitter for a couple. Looks like you got a bunch over there. Coming up, we got 40 new questions. On the Get Swole plan, Vince is asking, why is there only 1 day of abs in phase 2? Vince, you can do abs every day if you want, buddy, or at least do some wheels. So maybe I just didn't really key on it in phase 2, but you're more than happy to do abs as much as you want, man. No problem. At Jay Wallace, he says he's been trying to log on to see me for 30 minutes. His internet's terrible. My bad, brother. Hopefully you'll get on and check this out. It'll end up putting it on YouTube so you can check it out at a different time. At Jose Cruz wants to know, do ice baths really help with recovery? Hey, ice baths do help with recovery, in my opinion. There's kind of some conflicting data, but it feels like natural aspirin to me. When I would do it, it hurts. I much prefer heat. It's a little bit more comfortable, but you got to be uncomfortable to get a good result, just like training. So, yeah, I did the ice baths when I was helping train Rampage for the John Jones fight. We was putting him in the ice baths. He hated it. I would do it with him sometimes. Man, it's tough, about 55 degrees for 15 minutes. But when you're a little bit older and you get out of those things, it does feel good. There's no doubt. At Amon Kang wants to know, what diet do you recommend for cutting? Well, it depends on what level you're at. If you're really just trying to get moving, you might be out of shape a little bit, or you just want to cut kind of quick, get things rocking, the busy diet's awesome. It's hard, but it's awesome. If you want something kind of in between that, still want to lift a little bit more weights, I would go Get Swole Phase 4. Actually, Get Swole Phase 3 and 4, but use the Phase 4 diet. At Zachary Kozenza, he said, the live chat with the Prez is awesome. Appreciate it, man. I'm having just as much fun as you guys. Believe me, I'm enjoying it myself. At Hugh Hayes, when you're bulking, what time do you take your subs? Honestly, Hugh, it's check out the Get Swole plan. It's all laid out. So I'm pretty much based it off kind of how I do things. So when I get up, I pretty much train not on a fully empty stomach, but I usually just take a muscle gel, my shred, as soon as I roll out of bed, and then I head to the gym, which is about an hour later, and I take my salt, and then post-workout recon, ready to combat, or right now Iron Way for me. And then usually I'll take some creatine too for bulking. At Nicholas, or at got him 32, which is Nicholas. Where can I get a jacket like that? Hey, that's the first question. Hey, that's the first time I got the question. I'm impressed. We made these jackets, black and white, special items for a bunch of literally for a bunch of the athletes like 4 years ago. And they're just so comfortable, and we're definitely working on trying to get some stuff like this produced because people ask about them all the time. At Perpetual New Yorker, Jay, I see you on here all the time, brother. Any tips for hard gainers? Sure, man. Squat, bench, and deadlift. Eat a lot of food. Depends on what defines you as a hard gainer. Are you super lean, can't gain no weight? I just eat the Get Swole plan plus some, and get the core lifts in, and just rock heavy, but also keep that volume up too. At Chris Cumble at Crisco O Music. How long did it take for you to start noticing a difference when you made the change in 2008? I'm guessing you're asking from when I dieted back down from my powerlifting. That was really like 2009. So in 2008, I was early 2008. Or September of 2008. I was real lean. Then I went on about a year and a half. So it really was about 2010 when I cut down. I noticed the change. I basically formulated the busy diet, jumped on it at 240. I was really like 180 quick, which was probably too quick. But I was also trying a bunch of stuff out. We were, reformulating but shred at that point. And so yeah, I noticed it instantly. I mean, the first 3 weeks on the thing, you drop a lot of poundage. I was carrying a lot of bad fat too, because I was just dirty bulking to the fullest. I was strong as hell and it was fun, but I looked terrible. And when I was tying my shoes, my blood pressure was in my neck. It was bad. Do you stack at John Gall 45? Do you stack shred matrix with a salt? I don't stack them right on top of each other, but I do take them together. Meaning, so I take my shred as soon as my feet hit the floor. That's my kind of thing I talk about. As soon as your feet hit the floor, take shred. Roll right into a salt about an hour later before I hit the gym. It doesn't seem to affect me. If you have not done that prior, I would take half a dose of each in that kind of span of time and just see how your body reacts and kind of flow with it from there. At Jamie Hamilton, I've had shoulder problems doing chest. How can I get back into chest workouts? Honestly, man, check out on my YouTube channel. It's just YouTube Cory Gregory. I have a couple video logs on PVC pipe bench. Go to your local hardware store, Home Depot, buy you a Schedule 80, like 8-foot PVC pipe, cut the thing down to like 6.5 feet, hang some bands with some kettlebells off that thing, or just 25-pound plates, and I would do 4 or 5 sets, 20 reps on flat and incline, and I would do it a few days a week. Just really work on that stability of the shoulder. Now, with the PVC pipe, when you take it out, it's light. I mean, real light, like 50, 60, 80 pounds. But if it'll start doing this. If you're not tight, you'll eat the thing quick. So when you take that thing out, you got to stabilize it. And that's what helps the muscles, that your shoulders are kind of jacked up. That's what kind of helps you get stable. We worked up to some pretty serious weight with that lately. I can tell a huge difference in my bench, because here's the thing. I never competed at 181 before. I always competed at 198, 220, 242 even, which is crazy to even sound. But I wanted to make sure that I was stable at a lower weight class, and so that's what I've been doing a lot of, and it's worked a ton. So definitely check that out. At Gaurav, he's just saying, Cory, amazing response, inspirational stuff. Hey man, appreciate it, bro. I'm feeling it. It's a lot of fun. Josh Whistler, my dude, come out and lunged with me. What's up, man? Hey Cory, what's your opinion on natural test boosters like Battle Fuel? You the man. Thanks, brother. Hey, Battle Fuel's a great test booster. I never make any uh, outrageous claims about a test booster because I'm not trying to make steroids. I'm not trying to act like I am. We have a natural thing that the herbs have relayed in science that they help with your natural testosterone. So will it give you a little bit of a test boost? Sure. Josh, do you need it actually? Well, do I want to sell it to you? Of course, because it's a business. But in reality, you don't even need it, dude. You're young. You're busting your ass in the gym. Just squat an extra day, take protein. Don't even stress it. I don't even think you need it, man. But it's really for the people that are, 30 plus, 20, 28 plus, or somebody that maybe they have a little bit of metabolic damage and is trying to get their test back up, try to get their hormones back in check. I think it'd work good. At Josh Brood, how did you discover that fitness was your passion and something that you wanted to pursue the rest of your life? That's a great question. So I'm sitting in study hall as a senior in high school. I'm not proud of it, but I was graduating at about 2.3. And at the end of the day, it's the only thing I like to do, man. I was writing out workouts all day long. I was every study hall I was training. I was training for powerlift. I did powerlifting meets in high school at 165. Man, I just have a passion for it. And literally, I would look at these magazines in my basement and think, I will be one of these guys one day. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know if it was a pipe dream. I was little, not that strong, and not that lean at this point. And I'm looking at pictures of Arnold and the fact that I do business with that man nowadays and, get to interact with him. It's amazing. But I'm seeing pictures of him and Frank Zane and think, I'm going to be like one of these guys one day. Can I do it? And I just believed in it, man, and just didn't think anything else. And so what spanned off of that is as I was pursuing those personal goals, people started to ask my help as I started getting results. Then when I would help them, the gratification I got from seeing those people have results and their life change evolved into personal training at an early age. So literally at 19, I knew I was going to be a trainer. It was the only thing I could lift weights, get paid for it, but also help people. So now my platform is much bigger. I'm still doing those things. It's just not one-on-one. It's to the masses of MP Nation, which is phenomenal. So my role, although in the early stages of MusclePharm, were raising capital, helping with formulation and doing 9 different things. Now I'm in a more natural role, which I still help with big accounts. I still do a lot of things with athletes, but helping you guys, making sure you guys have the correct customer service, you have the correct tools to make you successful. That's what I'm passionate about now, and it's been amazing for me. So I knew early on, and so that's part of, I think, why my success has been there is because I had a definitive purpose extremely early that I was going to be one of these major fitness guys, and so that's what it is. Any suggestions on keeping the muscle created during a heavy lifting phase with no cardio, then transitioning to lots of cardio? At Holland's blog. Here's the thing. If you go from no cardio to tons of cardio, look at the difference between a sprinter and a marathon runner. Look at the muscle difference. Sprinters look like natural bodybuilders, and marathon runners look like, skinny, usually their body fat's actually a little bit higher than you would think just because the body's in trauma from running a bazillion miles. I wouldn't go crazy amounts of cardio. And also the other thing is most people think they have more muscle than they actually do. I was bad on that too. I remember back in the day I was like 205. I thought I'd put on all kinds of muscle. I went to a bod pod. This is like in 2002. And they was like, yeah, you got 175 pounds of muscle, 172. And I was like, I almost cried. I was like, you're telling me I got 40 pounds of fat or whatever it equaled up to? And they're like, yeah, dude. I was like, okay, I need to readjust what I got going on. So at the end of the day, I would try to figure out what your lean body mass is so you have an idea of where you should be. And I wouldn't do lots of cardio. I would just do high-intense cardio and eat clean and and really follow my daily workouts because they'll get your metabolism rocked. At Lorenzo Penamente, he said, what was it like meeting Arnold? Pretty awesome, dude. I gotta level with you. Sitting in his office and coming in to pitch him the Arnold series, which you see the banner behind me, which is amazing, was a pretty surreal moment, business-wise, for myself, Brad, and Jeremy, I believe. We were extremely prepared and passionate about what we wanted to do with this man, and I think he felt it very quickly, and he's been amazing to work with. So could I even have dreamed it up? I dreamed about working with Arnold, being around Arnold, meeting Arnold, whatever it was, but not to this degree. So sometimes life takes you in a way that you couldn't even imagine. You might think it's possible, and I'm a pretty optimistic guy, but it was pretty awesome. The biggest part of the meeting, though, besides when I felt like the deal was done, was, Arnold had, I left a copy of my Fitness RX with me and my kids on the cover of it. And so sitting, and it was on newsstands at that time, I picked up at the airport and took it to the meeting. Sitting on Arnold's couch and watching Arnold thumb through a magazine with me and my children on the front of it was probably one of the craziest moments that I'll ever have in the industry. It was wild, man. Real wild, but cool. Made eating all that tuna worth it. What would you suggest for a college student? At Michael Edward 94. Hey, so we're gonna roll 9 more minutes. I was only supposed to do half hour, but I'm having too much fun. We're gonna roll an hour. We got 9 more minutes, and then I have to cut y'all off because I gotta actually do some work with Arnold. Believe it or not, I gotta go do some work. I gotta pull all-nighter on some Arnold stuff. What would you suggest for a college student on a cutting program with a busy schedule that has limited access to quality food? So, Michael, here's the deal. You don't have limited access to quality food. You can buy cheap food. You can go to Aldi's. I mean, it might not be organic or whatever, but you can always have access to tuna fish, eggs, milk, brown rice, regular rice. So what you got to do is prepare better, find out what's best for your budget, and just go make it happen. So I'm not one for excuses. I'm just one to say, look, just got to plan better, get it right. I mean, can you eat the best food probably with your meal card or whatever? There's still certain things you can eat there, but you're going to have to supplement that with some stuff on the side for sure. At Christopher Swoop, any plans to travel in the near future? I mean, I'm always traveling. I'm always all over the place. Y'all see me tweeting out there about being in this city or that city. But yeah, I'm going to travel. I usually try to travel overseas once a year, and I always like coming to new cities to see how the market is. So usually if I'm out there, I'm going to let you guys know. Try to grab a workout. Try to take some people out to dinner, whatever. I try to do some stuff when I have time. I just love meeting MP Nation and seeing and hearing the feedback. And I learn from you guys. And then I go back to the drawing board. So that's what it is. I'm here to help you guys get better. Let's go back to Twitter for a couple more. I won't leave y'all hanging out there. Let's see what we got. Coming down. I'm wasting time. Come on, Corey. Got to find one here. What are quarter rep lateral raises? So I don't think Justin White knows I'm doing this, but I'm going to answer it anyway. So when you talk about a quarter rep, if I'm doing a lateral raise, give myself some room, you go all the way up, down a quarter, back up, then down. So if you're going up, boom, down. And I'm going to tell you what, when you stop, you try to stop a 20-pound dumbbell here, let it down this far, drive it back up, then all the way down. When you get about 10 reps like that, your shoulders are like, what the hell is going on? And so that's part of all these little methods I come up with. I'm just trying to keep it different and fun. And a lot of people always hating this or that. Why don't you just regularly do it? Cool, if you want to do it, regularly do it. I don't care. I'm just trying to make it not as boring. And at the end of the day, it gives you a better pump. And so you throw in a couple of these methods with your normal stuff, and if I made your workout just a hair better, that's helping me helping you get a little bit better. And I mean, I came up with this stuff so I wouldn't be bored. So y'all should check that out for sure. At Steve Bruce says, because of the Get Swole plan, he finally got in a 300 bench club. That's cool, man. Amazing what happens when you do volume and don't even do a whole bunch of low reps, huh? Still makes you strong. A lot of people think that it doesn't work like that. Parents about to go to Costco. What's the best way to convince them to pay $42 for some kick-ass protein? At Michael Cohen. Hey, Mike, you tell them that it's backed by science, and you show them that the Prez is ripped up. No, I'm just playing. Actually, Mike, if they're buying protein and it's convenient at Costco, I would just say, hey, if you guys will invest into me, I swear that you'll see the effort on my part, and I'm going to train and eat healthy, and I really want to help change my body. Can you guys help me out with this? Don't act like you're entitled to it. Don't act like they have to do it. Ask them to help you get better. So there's an approach. If my son came to me and said, Dad, I'm not going to miss workouts. I really want to try this. And, obviously we have protein all over the house. But if he said that to me, I would buy the protein for him because I want to know that he's taking some initiative and that he's trying to get better. So you might I don't know how you are with your parents, but they might be like, whoa, absolutely, I'll grab this for you. I'm going to roll back to YouTube and see. All right, at Michael Edward 94. Everyone mentions that that everyone has an individual genetic limit. How do you know when you've reached yours? And do you literally just stop building muscle? I mean, I think you kind of get a threshold at some point, but man, my body's done some stuff I ain't never thought that it would do. From getting as lean as I did, getting as strong as I did. So, man, I wouldn't even like entertain that. I would just say, look, can I look like Jay Cutler? Probably not. But I can be the best Cory, and I can grab the best information to make myself better. And yeah, I don't really believe in all that stuff. I mean, I just say, just get after it, don't overthink it, and just try to just do the best you can and progress as much as you can as a person. And I don't really try to base myself off anyone else. You know what I mean? So like, worry about you. I mean, I wouldn't worry about what everybody else talks about or what you think your limit might be. You create your own limitations. That's why I love C.T. Fletcher. He says, that's what separates me from you, because he knows he can do it. I can't do it like CT, but I watched that video Bloodline the other day. It's pretty dope. Y'all check it out. Cameron Barr, OSU student, hometown is Licking County. When's a good time to come lift with you at Old School? Here's the deal. If y'all want to come to Old School, it costs $10. That's funny, right? But it does. It costs $10 because I own the gym with Dustin Myers, my partner. And if y'all roll at 5 a.m., I don't care whether you got to drive 6 hours or you're in town, whatever. I train at 5 in the morning. As long as you make sure that I'm there on Twitter, I don't really mind, as long as I don't want a whole rush of people at the same time. But I don't mind if some people drip in and jump in with me and Reese. We got a whole crew at Old School. It's a lot of fun, but I travel a lot, so don't just roll in, because half the time I might not be there. But I am there a lot, and I love Old School Gym. It's me. It's grimy, it's fun, and I truly enjoy it. At Clark Johnson, how come your Instagram workouts are different than your WODs on Twitter? Ooh, you caught that, huh? So here's the deal, Clark. I'm testing a new strength program. Well, it's not new. I'm testing West Side template with some of my own kind of changes. And I just started putting that on Instagram for fun, because that's what I've been doing, just because I'm getting ready for a meet. So in reality, there will be some type of power trainer. And I might eventually have power workouts out there. But for now, the normal workouts that I post is what I follow most of the year, and that's what you guys follow. If y'all want some powerlifting workouts, just follow me on Instagram and you can check it out. And I'm actually posting my max effort work, or some of that work I'm doing, to keep myself accountable too, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to get way stronger at a lighter body weight than I ever have. So that's a challenge for me. And so when I have my dude hit that camera and I'm getting ready to deadlift, bench, whatever, I think to myself, I can't choke this, because I'm about to put this to 300,000 people. So I like it because it keeps me on track too, because at the end of the day, if you have your personal goals, it's accountability for me. So they are different, but you can grab some stuff from that too. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to get as much information out for you guys so it can be beneficial. I got 2 minutes left, and then Josh is going to cut me off in here. What else we got? Boom. Daisy. At Holland's blog, I'm seeing combat at Costco. Are you going to add any more flavors? Right now, just cookies and cream. We got Amino One coming after first of the year. We also got it up in Canada, so you can check it out there. Let's see. We're going to go 1 or 2 more questions. Let me go back to Twitter right quick. And this is a lot of fun. Damien, I got to do this again, brother. This is fun. I love muscle and strength. Okay, lower back. What exercises tone and trim fat? First of all, tone and trim fat is going to come from eating correctly and conditioning. Lower back, I do multiple things, from the reverse hyperextension on the ball, which you can see the video. Well, I do it on the actual reverse hyper, but you probably won't have one of those. See the video at my YouTube channel. And the other one would be the 45-degree lower back extension. And let's see. One more. 5x5 training, how often? I'm doing 5x5 training a little bit right now. I'm going to run it for 6 to 8 weeks off my max efforts. You can't argue with the results on it. It works good, so I'll always kind of intertwine it together. It's good stuff. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. Man, I had a blast. I'm going to try to do this pretty often because anytime I can interact and get some feedback, it's fun for me. I appreciate y'all's support, and just going to keep coming live at you and having a good time. So, NP Nation, I'm out. Thank you.